4557.
So I don't know about the rest of our listeners out there, but I am actually intrigued by the Apple Watch. Not the $10,000 model, but the cheaper version, because that's the type of guy I am. Lots of new technology out there, and that's why we've got Daniel Birns of Deep Blue Data here to join us. Daniel, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Daniel, there's a lot of technology that is out there. Well, let's start with you personally. Are you interested in the Apple Watch?
I'm definitely interested in it because Apple is always pushing the bounds. What else can we do? How can we do the same things, but better, be more efficient about it? And how can we, it allows us to evolve and create new tools. And I'm definitely excited to see what becomes of it.
So I know technology is your thing, and with Deep Blue Data, you are keeping your finger on the pulse of new technology. Tell us about some of the things that you're watching and how Deep Blue Data is sort of embracing that technology and helping small business owners take advantage of it.
Sure. Well, first of all, Deep Blue Data, we're a total IT solutions provider, and we provide everything from cloud solutions, access, managed service, and professional services. So we have a lot of customers, that want to talk to us about how can we understand what everything that's out there and how do we get there? So so one of the things that we look at is, what are the newer technologies? Everyone's talking about cloud this, cloud that. Of course, it makes a lot of sense for a lot of companies, but it doesn't make sense for everybody. So, one of the hot topics that we're really looking at is security. I mean, you're reading about all these security breaches, all of the people are getting hacked left and right. One of the things that we're kind of looking at is a different approach on how to deal with security. People, analysts, even computer programs are looking at single event items, and so we're kind of looking at if one event happens, what else is happening on the network. So if someone fails a password, check 3 times here, that could be pretty benign if you're just looking at that one event. So if you're looking at other events that are happening at the same time or just following, that's happening 300 times on your network. And now we have someone poking around, and it's better to prevent it than to fix it.
Daniel, many of us aren't just reading about the data breaches. Many of us are living it. There's probably the majority of our listeners that at some point have had their credit card, their credit card number taken from them, their identity stolen, and so many other examples. But Daniel, tell us a little bit about how Deep Blue Data. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to the point of founding a company that helps customers with this challenge.
Sure. Long story short is I got it. Got into networking, and I helped a very large company develop a technology that eventually became voice over IP. So I actually went to a different company, was at the birth of voice over IP as we know it, and that's been my fuel, and that's allowed me to jump on both sides of the kind of the consumer, the manufacturing, and the carrier side of things. So that's allowed me to evolve and see the different aspects of what our customers are really looking at and how they understand it. And we serve the SMB and small enterprise marketplace, and we understand what they're going through. And one of the things that Deep Blue Data is focused on is being able to bring some of the newer, the bigger, better technology that only the big companies have. We're trying to bring that down into the marketplace where the SMB and small enterprise can actually obtain secure products, obtain the voice products, and even video products that they could never imagine, having as part of their tool set.
And technology is a theme we're going to be continuing on after our break. We're going to be talking with Jake Garfinkel, the founder of Telemedico, and excited to have that conversation. But Daniel, so small business owners that are listening to the program are asking, is security something that even the little mom and pop operation, is that something that they need to worry about as well?
Absolutely. In fact, a lot of the small mom and pop, they're saying, well, my data isn't important because I only have, a smaller amount of customers.
Yeah, wait until something happens.
Exactly. And it can actually be very catastrophic for those companies could even put them out of business. So I think it's actually more important, but the tools to protect them are really being developed for the larger companies. So what Deep Blue Data is doing is trying to adapt those products into the environment so we can get those mom and pop companies onto the technologies that the Chase banks and the larger entities out there are using.
Fantastic. So once again, we're talking with Daniel Birns, the CEO of Deep Blue Data. Daniel, if something that you just said, including security and new technology, is of interest to our listeners, how can people get a hold of you?
Sure. Well, first I should mention we're getting ready to open our doors, so we are a very new company in the Chicago area. And
we love startups.
Yes, we are a startup and growing very fast. We have two acquisitions underway as well. So, and that should help us bring more assets to our company. But you can find us at deepbluedata.com. And if you can always send an email to info@deepbluedata.com.
Fantastic. And we'll have you back on as you get your doors open. Get Down to Business is brought to you in part by Everett Wealth Solutions, a registered investment advisor and financial planning firm, a fiduciary advisor that helps you create your personal wealth. You can find them at everettwealthsolutions.com or call 708-771-7777. That phone number, the easiest to remember, is 708-771-7777. As I mentioned, we're going to be continuing this theme of technology. After the break, we're talking with Jake Garfinkel about telemedicine. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to Get Down to Business.